Francine Locke, y'all know her. This woman is incredible. Besides being so pretty, and I say that a lot, but it's just the truth. I come here and I'm just in awe because there's a lot of beauty in this place, and not just outside beauty. It's all this inside beauty that you just don't see a lot from where I came in California. So you,
I love being here with you. Put it that way.
thank you. Well, okay, so you were in TV's Nashville. You were Risky Business, Modern Prodigal, which we're going to talk about, Stand Your Ground, Sacred Eternal, and much, much more. You've got a long IMDb page. But I want to talk to you about Modern Prodigal, and that's the one I thought you executive, I don't know why, I thought you were an executive producer for probably everything you've done, so I'll just make up stuff as we go along.
It works for me. I like that.
Modern Prodigal, though, the fentanyl, drug abuse, what do you have personally involved in that issue? Because is that why you executive produced it? Is there something personal in there about it? Because that movie was very heavy.
Yeah, it was very heavy, and after this great little intro, actually I got involved with Modern Prodigal because a friend of mine wrote the script, and I met with him and I said, I've got some videotape I need to have edited. I had done a little short film, and he said, okay, I got a deal for you. I will edit your film if you'll produce my movie. And I thought, how hard could that be? I'll produce a feature film, and I did.
So you weren't like addicted, you didn't have addiction?
No, I don't. I've never had any drug addictions. I do like to drink, but not to excess. But no, the fentanyl, where it came into play, though, within Atlanta, is that all of this stuff was going on at the same time as we were filming. There were so many fentanyl overdose deaths. One weekend there was something like 12 people in one night that died of an overdose and 13 the next night because of a very, very bad batch. And it was just one of those great coincidences that it was happening right while we were filming. But I had nothing to do with the storyline. I produced the film and handled that and handled those ends of it. There's a lot to do with that.
Stand Your Ground.
Yes, I will. Yes.
The film.
You're right. Stand Your Ground. Yes, that's the film. Yes. And it's a film that is based on a true story, what happened to a woman here in Georgia. I'm not in Georgia right now. They're in Georgia, a couple of states away. Jackie Carpenter had suffered a big problem within her family. I don't want to give away too much of the story, but I had the role of Jackie, and so I had to have a southern accent, and I learned how to talk like Jackie does, because Jackie has a very unique way of speaking, and so I learned how to do that as best that I could, and so I played Jackie Carpenter.
I told you the other day, when I first met you, because coming from Texas, we have good ears about accents, and when they're bad, we get mad, and you were so good that I was surprised you didn't have an accent. So that's very good.
That makes me feel so good, especially coming from Chicago, because we talk like this in Chicago. We've got the lateral mouth going. No, and so I learned how to drop that as quickly as I could.
I talked to Sandra about, I asked her if she was able to learn from Evelyn Pitts, the defense attorney, and she said, well, it was actually a man. Well, so what about you? Were you actually able to learn directly from the real person, from Jackie?
I had watched some of Jackie's interviews prior to getting down there and starting to film, because I lived in Chicago at the time. And I worked with a coach in Chicago to work on my accent. And I met Jackie at, I think, one event prior to. And she's just such a vivacious, bubbly, overwhelming person. She's colorful in her personality, in her heart, in her soul. And it's like you just have to encapsulate all that. But when we first started filming, we were starting at the deepest, darkest point in her life. And so I didn't have to try and be this huge Jackie, because she was going through a terrible, terrible time. And our very first scene, I'm sitting in the church, and it was like 50 degrees. It was freezing in the church, and I'm just sitting there, and it was a time that she was bearing her soul to God. And the director loved it, because I was just frozen in my spot, because I was literally frozen in my spot. But that was the way that I got in and just started being Jackie, because her life had been crushed. How I had met her as this big, bold person, she wasn't in the film. In the film, she was at the deepest, darkest depths of her existence. So I just kind of took that part on it. I went down. I went way down.
As an actress, that's fun, though, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, I want to say fun, like as fun, some people think like writing on a merry-go-round. But I mean, fun as an actress, it's challenging to be able to go there and pull that up and express it.
It's challenging, and you feel something. I mean, it hurts when you hurt when people write in a script and a tear gently rolls down her cheek. That doesn't happen, but when you feel something because of the scene that you're involved in, it's really, it sparks something in you. I had a part in The Passage, which was a show that people were transformed into hideous beasts, and I'd never done a show like
I
that.
haven't seen the whole movie. I saw just a clip of it, and it scared me to death. You just went, bah! And I was like, I can't see it. I was watching a whole bunch of movies at the same time, and I just can't.
But that's not my genre. I don't do vampires. I mean, that's just not. It was horrifying. But when I did that, I just had to simply go in and do it because it isn't what I do. And when I actually recorded the audition, I hated it. It's like, I don't do this. I'm uncomfortable. I feel miserable. And that transformation was it was bizarre. And that's when I met with the director said, oh my gosh, the audition. I was like, oh yeah, I know. I only recorded it once. I'm so sorry. No, you just nailed it because you just let go of things, and when you let go of it, it's like that feels good. It didn't feel good doing it. I didn't feel fun and happy, but you took a part of yourself and you showed it to somebody. And the same thing with Jackie. Like her heart was ripped out. So that's what you do as an actor. You take your heart and you give it to the audience and let them have a piece of it.
What's been your absolute favorite role that you've had, and what would be your absolute favorite dream role? And I mean, going forward, or if you could have done any role in the history of filmmaking.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, that's just like, I thought that I like to have a role where I get to get dirty and like down and dirty in who you are and what you're doing, and that's part of what The Passage gave me, that ability. And Jackie did too, because she was so heartbroken, she was wretched. But I did a short film last year that I was down and dirty, but it's because the world had kind of ended as we knew it, and I had to be the savior. I had to battle, and it was violent, and I'm training somebody how to fight, and that was cool.
What's the name?
Circles. So it's called Circles, and we won a bunch of awards for it. It's not in distribution. It's still working its way through the festival circuit. But it was so much fun because I got to be a strong woman who didn't have to be pretty. My face is dirty. My pants. Good story about that. I bought some army pants. I mean, from the actual army surplus store, and they had to be old and wretched and grimy because you're living out with nothing. You're crawling through brush and whatnot. These pants are indestructible. I mean, I washed them, I scrubbed them several times, I put bleach on them, I drove over them with my car, I dragged them down the highway, finally gave them to a man who works for my husband and said, have you got a gun, could you shoot? And he took them, I said, this is the best place to work in the world. He took my pants out and he shot them a few times, finally got holes in them that were authentic. But the role was like that. It was gritty, and I liked it because I could be a strong person, a strong woman, and that's who I present as a person. And on the other hand, I could be very soft. There is a coach that would give you, you could take a training class on finding who you are, your essence. What are you really on the inside? What do you project to other people? And it's amazing that you can put a room of people together, and they'll all look at a person sitting in front of them, and they'll take a list and they'll check off traits that they think that person has. And it's eerie how accurate it is. All these people in the room that have no connection with that person, they come up with the exact same identifying processes. And my keywords were fragile steel. So I let my heart out. We talk about something, I'm going to start crying, not because it says so in the script, but people look at me and they're like, in a class, they're like, you're a bully. It's like, no, she's not a bully. She has a strong perspective and she's not afraid to share it. And I was like, thank you. We can be strong. We can be sensitive, but we can be strong. And so that's the type of role that I like, that I could be the powerful person.
This is a good girl.
I got biceps. Yeah, I could do something.
She got the guns, girl.
Yeah, I do. I just got several.
Oh, you do?
I really did. My husband
We need
gave
to
me a
talk.
gun for my birthday. My birthday was a couple months ago. He gave me a gun. It's like, and I'm from Illinois. We don't do guns in Chicago. And
You're not allowed to have any, right? Just the bad guys.
that's right, because law-abiding citizens can't follow the rules. So, yeah, so I got a gun, and that turns out I can aim pretty well. So then it was my wedding anniversary tomorrow, so we got me another gun because I can't do a competition with a gun that he got me. So now I've got a littler gun that I can do a competition with. So yeah, I got the guns.
Oh, and I love her even more now. Awesome. Francine Locke, I'm so happy to know you. And so what's coming out? What's your newest project? What do we have to look forward to?
Well, last year really took a toll on the industry, not just the Hollywood aspect, but the industry in general. And so there's nothing that is in the pipeline in that regard from the higher level films and productions and whatnot. But I've been working with a friend of mine, and we have been writing a devotional based on the bees. It's comparing.
I got to talk about the bees.
Yes, I raise bees. So I'm working on a devotional with Lori Merritt, and it is a bee-votional, and we're comparing the attitudes of bees with the Beatitudes. That's our first book. And she does all the Bible aspect, I do the bee aspect. And so we're going from that. I also have I've purchased the option to a story that I'd like to make this film on. There are, all these projects are starting, but because last year everything stopped, I had to readjust and reassess, and it's just that things are starting now. Do you have the time to do this? Can't you? Yeah, we can do it. So being here with all these people kind of charges up the enthusiasm again. Yeah.
Look at all this stuff. So good to meet you and so good to know you, and I can't wait to see everything that's happening in your life and follow your career for the rest of your life. I am officially a groupie fan. Francine
I love
Locke.
this girl. Thank
Me
you
too.
so much. You're just awesome.